and welcome to the first esports movie commentary, the new show that we're doing where we take a movie or show and anyone who hasn't seen it gets a good first reaction, or those who have seen it can make good commentary like I will today. Joining me today are Katrina.
Hello.
And first time in the studio, Lucas.
Hello.
So our first movie, as you'll probably see in the video later, is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog. Have you guys seen this?
No, I have not.
I have not either.
Have you guys been interested just to see it at all?
I've seen a few trailers, but that's about it.
I've got quite a bit of interest in it.
I'm probably excited to see the second one down the line if this ends up being good.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen this movie like 20 times just because it was a really good movie. It's one of the things that really started getting me into Sonic because it was a good movie, and then I played Sonic Generations, and there was no going back for me on that one. So I figure something we can kind of talk about beforehand is like video game movies don't necessarily have an amazing record when it comes to being good, but then the past couple of years we've got some pretty decent ones.
They've been getting better.
Yeah. Like, there's still been bad ones like the Halo TV series, which we may also eventually do this for, against my better judgment. But still, like the new Mortal Kombat movie, the Sonic movies, have been pretty good. So,
yeah, I've been hearing about the Monster Hunter movie, but it just, from what I heard, it just wasn't good.
I unfortunately have seen it. I have not played the games. I want to say I've not played Monster Hunter whatsoever. But I watched the movie, and it sucks.
Oh, the game is so much better than
it's also another one that's probably in the pipeline is Monster Hunter for us to watch on here. But it's basically like the equivalent of an isekai anime. Main character from real world gets transported to Monster Hunter world.
Yeah, I mean, that is basically what the storyline is, but also sort of not, because our player is actually from the world itself.
Yeah, and like they spend the first 3/4 of the movie trapped in like one desert area trying to get past one monster.
The Diablos, from what I've seen from the commercials.
And then like the last 20 minutes you start seeing actual characters, like that one like cat merchant you like get a few glimpses of, and then like it ends as like they get back to the real world and when the monsters follow them, and it ends like, if I remember, it ends like this like crappy like, next movie maybe, and then it just isn't happening.
To be fair, the Diablos is a very... It probably is a very interesting monster for them to animate because of its entire background and stuff. So that's probably why they spent so much time on it, but they should have done more. Yeah,
we should probably save some of this commentary for an actual Monster Hunter commentary maybe down the line, because like we're not going to focus on video game movies. We're just going to like watch whatever.
Yeah.
But video game movies are like some of our like first openers because it is an esports program show.
Yeah.
All right, so for those who follow along, because we cannot, show anything in post because that is a violation of copyright. You might hear some of like our play in the background, but that's not be too bad because we're like talking and commentating over it. We're at the very first possible frame of the Paramount logo at the beginning. So if those who want to watch along with us can. So not even first second, like very first possible like black frame of the Paramount logo. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, play. Notice the Paramount logo and so the stars has the Sonic rings, which I thought was a really cool effect. Paramount's really good about changing their intro logo for movies like this.
Yeah, Paramount does do a good job about adapting their logo to whichever movie they're showing.
I also like right now is the Sega logo coming out for those who aren't quite synced up. With Sega starting to do more movies stuff like that, particularly with Sonic, you get this like.
It honestly reminds me of what they do for the Marvel movies.
It kind of is, and I like how I don't know if you guys heard. I was probably talking a little bit over it, but during the Sega thing, it's like showing like a bunch of games like Sonic, Yakuza, Jet Set Radio, stuff like that. And then at the end, the Sega, like the Sega, in orchestral music, it plays the da-na. Ben Schwartz plays a good Sonic. He's very witty. And the song playing right now is from Sonic Mania, the Hyper Potion song that a fan made. So it's a track from Sonic Mania. They used it in the 2021 orchestra as well, but then they use it as the opening as this movie, the opening song. So it's an actual Sonic track in the movie.
Never thought I'd see a baby Sonic.
It's not as uncanny as the original Sonic design. What can it be for those 8 mice? Like I said, he's very witty and like jokey in this, and I love it. Yeah, they kind of like rushed like the origin part, like why he goes to another world. But I feel like it's not done wrong or anything like that. It's very much like he gets home and he's followed, so he has to leave Green Hill Zone.
So who are these enemies? They look like Knuckles.
They are this is talked about more in the second movie, but they are Echidna. They are his tribe. It's Knuckles' full tribe going to get Sonic because of his power.
So his power of speed?
Yeah, they treat everyone's powers and stuff a little bit differently in the movie. So like anyone can have like this like weird power like from their planet, and Sonic's in particular is like he has incredible speed and like just power charge within him, and that's a role that's played throughout the entirety of this first movie.
Huh.
Also, using the rings as portals. At first, I didn't know this when I first watched it because I still wasn't entirely into Sonic yet. But in the Archie comics, the rings' purpose is making portals to travel through.
Yeah, kind of like in the first Sonic when you collect 50 rings, touch a checkpoint.
Yeah, they're warp rings. But like rings act differently depending which Sonic media you're in. In the Archie comics, they were used as portals. Hits himself with the speedometer. James Marsden is his name. I can't think of anything else he's been in besides he was Cyclops in the original X-Men movies.
Huh.
Yeah, I watched the X-Men movies.
Can't remember which
That's
ones
where
I've
I
watched.
recognize his face.
I believe it's in the original 3, and then in Days of Future Past, he played Cyclops.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
Giving the turtle a warning.
We gotta do something to pass the time.
He's peeking around the car. I think Ben Schwartz does a really good Sonic. It's kind of different. He definitely like sounds a bit younger than normal Sonic does, especially after playing Frontiers, where Roger Craig Smith like did a more serious like. I feel like Sonic Frontiers is a good chance for the actors to actually shine.
He's just using that
So he
speedometer.
sounds more like Jason Griffith, who was everything between Unleashed and Sonic Adventure, I think. I believe it may have been Sonic 06 was his first one, but
It's a very interesting combination of the obvious animation of Sonic and the video game characters and the realism.
Yeah, for what they did was I know they did this for Sonic 2. I don't quite know if they did it for Sonic 1, but the actors would look at
Oh no!
He saves a turtle. He saves animals like he does in the games, in the original games, where he saves the flickies.
I would have been so upset with that dude if he ran over the.
Yeah, but I believe actors. I know they did this for Sonic 2 because I saw screenshots from Sonic 2. I'm not sure what they did in Sonic 1.
Happy Turtles.
Happy Turtle playing Queen in the background. But they would have statuettes. But they would have statuettes of the Sonic characters to talk to. So like I remember before Sonic 2 came out, I saw a still of like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails all like next to James Marsden and all that in the
Oh,
street.
he's trembling.
Trembling turtle.
And it just drops.
But yeah, I'm Ben Schwartz and Roger Craig Smith, the game voice, and then Ben Schwartz playing him here. Roger Craig Smith was like, yeah, he's doing a great job. Like, let him be in the movie. They actually met up in 2019 before the movie came out and, like, ducked it out.
Sonic reading about Flash.
Yeah. His headband is the logo from the original games, the banner that he comes up on.
Sega.
He's playing tennis with himself. And then the rings the Long Claw gave him. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the town is called Green Hills.
Yeah, I noticed that. Pretty interesting.
And then here in the map, you can see one planet has the Sega Saturn logo. And then in the bottom right, there's a Chaos Emerald.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
And the planet he's looking at right now is a Mushroom Hill Zone from Sonic 3, where Knuckles is in the games. It's kind of stalkerish when you think about it. It's like, yeah, everybody loves me if they knew I existed.
Yeah.
Because he's been on, I think it's like 10 years, he's just been living in the background of Green Hills, Montana. Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady. Yes, it's Sanic on the picture.
Oh, you know for sure that would actually happen.
I know you're out there, and I know you're real. No, I'm not. That's one of the funniest lines in the movie. I feel like they changed Sonic like being more kind of like not necessarily like Gen Z-ish, I guess, but like to fit more with like the younger generation a bit. But I feel like it works pretty well for someone who's like kind of living in the background and it's just a young kid.
He's his own therapist.
If you notice, when you look at his shoes, the normal red ones he has, like normal tennis shoes he got out of the trash, and at the bottom of the soles, there's like holes like torn through from like the soles of his feet, going for when he runs fast.
Yeah.
Burning straight through them.
Yeah. So they're like taped
It's
up and all.
literally burning rubber.
Yeah, they're taped up and all that. Yeah, like imagine like living without interacting with anybody for like 10 years in a tiny town. He's just out living in the woods, just trying to stay hidden.
The lonely hermit.
And those raccoons have...
I love the Sonic characters in this movie, but
They just don't care.
They've got dinner.
Raccoon for dinner. Hey, you gotta get what you can to Montana. Oh, you're gonna go cheap a puppy.
Sick the dog on him. To be fair, it would probably just slobber all over them.
Yeah. No, I love the Sonic characters in these movies, but I think James Marsden works as a great foil for Sonic. Or Tom, as his character's name is. Do the two cakes, like, gotta cover all my bases.
Oh, yeah.
I never had a doubt. That's something I would do, but just to get two cakes with fans, okay, label them, hide them under the counter when they get home. Whenever it happens, I'm ready.
Always have a backup plan.
I feel like it can backfire, though. Like, if you bring up the one that says, you know, San Francisco sucks, it means you expected him to fail.
Yeah.
So that can come out super wrong.
Plan B.
So then you have to save your ass and be like, no, I got another one just in case. See, the only good scenarios if they get it.
Or you could just say San Francisco and nothing else.
A lot of people complain about the human like side plots in this movie, but it doesn't bother me that much at all.
Without the side plots, then the movie wouldn't be as long as it is.
Yeah, I will say in Sonic 2 it gets a little much, but I feel like Sonic 1 balances out really well and does really well with it. Trying to get my fat head in the middle of the TV. I'm the only one looking at the monitor, so I'm trying to get my head away from the TV.
Is it just going to cut to animals?
Officer Donut.
He has a donut sitting on the grill doing his entire speech too. He put his shades on the donut, put paper clips as the arms and legs. This movie does comedy really well.
That's a really dusty glove.
Yeah, it is.
You know, before they announced the movie, it was being worked under the name Casino Night as a reference to Casino Night Zone from Sonic 2.
Yeah, I've always hated that zone.
It is a little annoying. And then for this, I'm also trying to like keep trivia going as we go because I have a list pulled up because I wish I'd read this beforehand. But for the Sega logo at the beginning, they initially had Ben Schwartz doing the Sega noise, like actually singing it. But then they cut it and just did the orchestral score.
I feel like either of that could have worked.
When you get to be your own biggest rival.
Yeah, but this scene is pretty good. Like I don't know whether I love or hate when movies play up speed for more than what it is, but it makes for like good scenes in like X-Men and then this.
Just sniffing flowers.
And I feel like this is the scene that really starts to like epitomize that like he really has just been out alone for himself for 10 years. Because he's out there, he finally gets to play baseball and he like gets to be fast, but then no one's there to watch him. He slows down to like get excited and then it's just no one else there.
Oh.
So he has nothing. He's done nothing but run for 10 years.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And I like that the movie does every character's powers differently. Like it's not just speed and then for Sonic 2 knuckle strength. Tails is not much you can do really otherwise because of flight. But I love how immense they make everything feel.
The fact that Pulse hit a satellite.
I'm sorry, Wade's face kills me. He looks forward at the phones and he goes, looks down.
Yeah, duh.
Actually, I take it back. Wade's my favorite human character. Wade is so good.
He just leaves
I
the
feel
phone
so
ringing.
bad for Wade because he's just a man trying to do his job in a small town.
Oh, Quill.
The quills light up when he goes through his power. Yeah.
Even when they're no longer attached to him.
And again, I feel like it's a great visualization of energetic power in this movie. It's like the lightning and the lights.
Oh, it actually got me questioning, how are the phones still working if all the power had gone out?
Because of actual, I assume because of actual like lines or backup generators they have as well. It is the government. Also, I don't know if the name's the right one. You guys know the game Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
The commander we're seeing right now is a general from that game. The one that never orders soldiers to go on like the Ark and then end up killing Maria. That's supposed to be the leader of GUN. I don't know if the name's the same because I don't remember the guy's name, but
I only played it once, and
They have no choice.
yeah. I love Jim Carrey as Eggman.
Jim Carrey is just an awesome actor.
Also, I don't know if you guys have watched Arrow at all, but the dude playing the corporal here is Damien Dark from Arrow.
Oh.
I've never watched Arrow, but
Or if you've in the first Captain America, he was Dum Dugan, one of the Helen Commandos that he saved from the prison.
never watched that either.
There he is, Jim Carrey Eggman. I love him more in the second movie, but this first one he's still great. I'm in charge.
Oh, I do have to ask, is the mustache fake or did he grow it himself?
I believe it could be a prop mustache. I'm not sure. But Jim Carrey took this role because his daughter is a massive Sonic fan. And he said this is one of his favorite roles that he's ever done.
Yeah, he's had a few roles that he's despised as well.
Like, he plays the manic intelligence so well.
He does.
It always seems if the character can be partially insane, Jim Carrey can just pull it off amazingly.
Yeah, and I always love this scene because, like, seeing Bennington. Sorry, I paused that.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm sorry, I'm mouthing. No one can see if I'm mouthing the lines as Jim Carrey's going.
I can.
We all can.
Well, in the video.
Well, us in the booth.
Yeah, us in the booth, it's not very subtle. Yeah, I love seeing him. I forget the actor's name. The dude's playing Bennington. Like, after seeing him as Damon Dark and Arrow, it's such a menacing role. Being talked down to by Jim Carrey, it's just so funny to me.
Yeah, it is. It kind of is.
Like, Damon Dark is one scary guy in Arrow. And then Jim Carrey comes in with the curled mustache and starts like talking down to him. I'm not gonna be able to help myself. I want to keep mouthing lines of this movie that I love. It's like I can't help it. Like, before the movie came out, everyone's like, Jim Carrey's going to save the movie because the Sonic part is going to be so bad, and then everything was so good. Don't worry, Jim Carrey really helped. He carried the movie, of course, but I don't know if you can tell, but the truck that he's in is supposed to be the truck from Sonic Adventure 2 that chases him during City Escape.
I thought that was just a random 18-wheeler.
No, I think it's meant to be the truck from Sonic Adventure 2. Like, when he jumps the helicopter and then towards the end where the truck starts chasing him, I think this is the truck.
What did he say?
He was following the techniques of like an old Indian tribe.
What was the name he said?
Shadow wolves.
Okay, it kind of sounded like something else.
I'm kind of going through this right now. Apparently, Robotnik wearing those rectangular sunglasses before is a reference to an alternate version of him from the Archie comics called Warden Robotnik, who like wore the same kind of glasses. They're not there for very long, but it's meant to be that kind of callback.
Oh.
I don't know why, but I like it better when Robotnik's machines aren't powered by flickies. I like them when they're just robots. Because then it feels like everyone has to be so delicate, like destroying them.
Yeah.
I like it better when they're just robots.
Goodbye, beanbag.
I don't know why some of these like trivias are coming up, but this is the third movie where Jim Carrey is a villain. First was Batman Forever. He was Riddler, and then he was Olaf in a series of unfortunate events.
Does the Grinch not count as a villain?
They threw it in there, but said how Cable Guy, Grinch Stole Christmas, and Christmas Carol, he wasn't necessarily a villain. Because I guess he changed by the end. Like Grinch, it's about him like learning. But and like Sonic and Series of Unfortunate Events, he's just straight up bad guy. And this would have been his second video game movie. This is his first. It would have been the second because he was approached before about a Leisure Suit Larry video game or video game movie.
Uh-oh. Sleep darts.
Imagine that as a movie. Leisure Suit Larry.
Would he have been the main character?
He would have been Larry. Which if you're going to get someone, make it Jim Carrey. But
Jim Carrey getting action.
Did you guys hear the sister?
I did not catch what she said.
The sister like hates Tom so much, and so she just wants Maddie to divorce him. She hates him.
Why the monologue? It's always the monologue.
Every good hero has to have a monologue.
Well, he's also like frantic and all that. He's anxious, so I feel like it makes sense that he's like talking loud to himself.
Ow.
Meow. Imagine walking in your shed and seeing this. Like, you must think you're on drugs or something.
Uh-oh. Of course that happens.
And there's your plot for the movie. He needs to get his rings from San Francisco. John's face. Just a... It's like, how else would you react? Spatula. But how else would you react if you walked in your shed, saw that?
Yeah, I'd probably be just as freaked out.
Blue Devil. Crazy Carl was right.
Just opens the door.
I didn't notice that, but he's got heterochromia.
Got what?
Heterochromia.
2 different colored eyes.
Who, Tom or Sonic?
Him.
Tom has two blue eyes.
One is more silver than the other.
It's probably just lighting then.
Yeah, that can happen.
No, because look. It
It's because the other side of his face is shaded in.
mm.
I love how it's the time to brag, and the end thing gets the problem. That's very Sonic of the character.
Oh, yeah.
Mini face plants.
Well, noodle leg.
I was going to say, Bench Sports does the facial motion capture for Sonic as well. He does the voice and the face expression. Then turn to CGI for the actual character model.
He's like, no.
Yes, I am a person. Who greets themselves like that? He's a good man. I love Jim Carrey's delivery.
I've yet to see him have a bad one.
I love how smart Tom is too, just by being like a small town cop. Like he knows when something's up. Also, sorry, I'm still going through trivia as we do this, but apparently it's kind of ironic considering they're Sonic and Eggman respectively, but Jim Carrey is Ben Schwartz's favorite actor.
I can tell he takes his mannerisms after Jim Carrey.
So I think it's great how the actor for Sonic loves the actor for Eggman.
That is so Jim Carrey.
It is, and I feel like it also shows that Robotnik just doesn't like people, so he just goes to the most offensive things he can with it while still making a PG movie. Like, this isn't Bruce Almighty. He's being general. I was breastfed, actually. Nice. Rub that in my orphan face. That line always kills me. Yeah, he's just like so anxious talking to himself. It works. It's like normally characters would make comments that they constantly annoy me, but it works so well at just being Sonic. Ah, the cake.
Uh-oh.
I love the pause and then just this slow. I like the change like dynamic between Eggman and Tom from when he's at the door to like now. Like Tom was so calm beforehand. That screech never gets old. Well, I love the conversation, the change of dynamic. Where at the door, Tom is like very much in control, being calm. But you can't come in here. I'm a cop. I'm over on you. And then when it gets inside and he finds the quill, it like quickly shifts. It's like, okay, so I can kill you, or you can tell me where it is.
Don't know why he just didn't go with, I found it while I was on my shift.
It's got one of those in the moment things where it's like that when he starts panicking, it's like he's a little ahead the entire time, even when he goes inside until he sees the quill.
Yeah.
Honestly, his little silly head's like a military grade drone could be taken out with a bowl. Is it just me, or do his legs like look thinner in some shots? Like when he was carrying him, they looked like super thin.
Might be due to the tranquilizer that they just made him look thinner so that show he's still got noodle legs.
I mean, he looked fine when he sat him in the car, but when he's like carrying him in like his backside to the camera, it looked like super thin.
Probably just angling. A weird angle to animate.
Makes me wonder if they used a prop Sonic when he was carrying him, or if he just had opened arms.
Just what's the name of it? The glass. He just throws it. Stone is. I just like all the characters. I'll be honest. I just like all the characters. Stone is really good too. Just hey, and immediately stops. Like fair. It was rumored that Paul Rudd was originally going to be Tom, and they're gonna have him instead of James Marsden. I love his attitude so much. Like it just never stops.
starfish.
The fish just like, save me.
I love the starfish. That's what I like.
His quills just go out.
Sonic Pro.
I love how inconsistent it is. Like sometimes they're definitely the harder quills, and then sometimes they just treat it as hair, but it works. See, I always forget the other character's names because he just calls him Donut Lord. I always say, "Oh yeah, Donut Lord." I was like, no, wait, it's Tom. Okay, so here's a couple ones. So for the voice of Sonic, originally considered were Dylan O'Brien, Freddie Highmore, Dan DeHaan, David Tennant, Nick Robinson, Josh Gad, Will Forte, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jim Parsons, Charlie Day, Drake Bell, and Adam Devine were all considered for Sonic. I don't see David Tennant at all in that, but okay. And then for Tom, aside from Paul Rudd, we had Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Jake Johnson, Michael B. Jordan, Bill Hader, Jason Segel, Justin Timberlake, Adam Pauly, Ansel Elgort, and Milo. I don't know who this last one is. Milo Ventimiglia. We're all considered for Tom. I don't know those last few, but like Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, and Michael B. Jordan as Tom.
I mean, I can sort of see Chris Pratt.
I feel like James Marsden was a pretty good pick for this.
Yeah.
I can kind of see some of the other like Sonic voices they chose. Not David Tennant or Josh Gad, but
Well, I wonder how many of them turned them down and how many just didn't show up.
well, those were just all ones considered, apparently.
Uh-oh.
I love how he just acts like a little kid.
Yeah, he's a kid. He doesn't know better.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's like he didn't have anyone to teach him anything since he was 5.
So effectively, he's just a young teen.
Yeah. He's 15-year-old with like the mindset of like an 8-year-old maybe. Just because he hasn't had any social interaction for 10 years. Also, Ben Schwartz immediately signed on for like any sequel they wanted him to do, and Jim Carrey almost did the same because while filming this one, like this is the most fun he's had on a movie in years, and this was his second highest grossing film opening. It doesn't say what it's behind, but this is just his second. Elmer Robotnik trying to be threatening. Wade. It's like, don't look at him, don't look at him, don't look at him.
Hello.
I'm okay. Hello. Just immediately.
Hello. He hung up on me.
And Wade be like, I think he hung up. Maybe I can like call him back. Wade tries so hard.
He's so nervous. Like from the very first time we saw him talking to the dude, it was obvious that he was nervous.
I will tell people about this.
Uh-oh.
Also, I'm kind of looking at making more of these right now. Longclaw, the owl at the beginning, was initially meant to travel to Earth with Sonic, but then just die of old age. But they changed it to like her dying just so he would have that arc of like being alone, like finding people again. Also, Apparently, specifically his power is based on like chaos energy, so they're kind of feeding like that chaos power stuff from like the comics and games. So that's what allows him to do like the crazy stuff. No one's believing that's just like a deformed man. Yeah, the glasses are gone now. No one's gonna believe that's a normal dude. Well, I get it. It's like a kids movie. I get it. I always love when we get like the little breaks from the action, like the comedy, and get like little scenes like this where he's just trying to live.
Yeah.
He pulls out seriousness.
Like I like when there's a good balance, and I feel like this movie does it really well. I feel like Sonic 2 had a little bit less of a balance. I feel like it's also like trying to balance like 3 or 4 different stories at once. Because this movie is just mainly Sonic and Tom, and then Robotnik and Stone. It does everything pretty well. It's very much a character story as opposed to Sonic 2, which is more of a grandiose adventure.
Wow.
He pierced every beer in the tray.
Yeah.
He starts kicking up with a score. Do a slam dunk. Tom just yawns. Okay, you want more? She thinks Tom slapped her ass, which is Sonic. I also love how it's like a kids movie. They're not afraid to like show adults drinking alcohol or anything like that. Sonic's response: "We'd like a cat around here. Hipsters. Oh, how dare you!" So he straight up says it. He's not hiding anything.
Just a little bonk.
He's seriously getting angry. Tom just keeps taking hits for Sonic. I feel so bad for Tom. You see him slowly getting dragged all the way back to the pool table in the background.
It just feels like taps.
Here's like your Quicksilver-esque scene for the movie. Me and Katrina both nod our heads to the song. Dude's missing his tooth. Takes a selfie. The girl in the background is still like has like a dude by the neck. Tom is having such a rough time. Oh, that's gotta suck.
No!
He's going to go flying, ain't he?
That alone is like a serious wedgie. Bring it to the crow like that, and then oh no.
Yep, there's the hot dog.
There's the chili dogs. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
When someone asks who you going into a bar fight with, I'm going to Sonic.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you'll probably get beat for a little bit, but he'll eventually get to the.
So I'm saying, I feel bad for Tom because he's just getting dragged off in the background.
Oh!
Gets a napkin and go, oh, there. Oh! Oh, that's gonna suck. And Tom just back at the bar with a beer. It's finally I don't have paper. He trips over the other deer.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, I cringe when the bird. I forgot about that part where the bird just flies off the light and then hits him in the back.
Uh-oh. You forgot the food on your truck.
The coffee and the food. No.
The coffee and the food.
There goes the food. You know what this scene reminds me of now? Have you guys seen the movie with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart called Get Hard? Where like Will Ferrell is going to go to prison and Kevin Hart has to teach him how to survive in prison.
Uh-oh.
I have not seen that one.
Like
There's a very similar scene in that movie that cracked me up so bad. Rest of it it's not the blue blur. Start a bar fight. I feel like he probably has some good stuff in there. Like kind of like how I'm a Captain America Winter Soldier. You can there's stuff on his list in there that's like Easter eggs that changes between countries. They try to like follow Tom's lead. On the light, he's doing like his balancing pose from the games.
you know that was stinky.
Yeah, he had like 10 chili dogs. They ain't smelling good.
You know what they say. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot.
Oh. I love puns, but even that one's rough. You see, will be the only fun guy.
Three, 2, 1.
Yeah, and he's out. His socks are torn up too. Like his running burned through his socks and his shoes. Yeah, take that.
Oh. Make a real friend.
Yeah, that's the last thing on his bucket list is just make a friend.
Uh-oh.
That's a lot for kids. We're like, oh yeah, this guy's like a terrorist.
I mean, they did the same thing for Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson was considered a terrorist.
Dude's in a neck brace from just going out the window. Guess he just couldn't bear it. Okay, no laughs. The smile before he throws him right back out the window they just fixed. Just a ooh.
Oh.
It's a very Jim Carrey smile.
So who is that? Who is his assistant?
Agent Stone. That's my favorite abuse of him in this movie is when it goes like high five, goes high five, and punches him in the throat. Let your guard down. Thanks for nothing. Sonic's look. Look, presumptuous? You took me in last night. It's the small lines that make it so funny. It's not even some of the big jokes, it's just some of the small things.
The one-liners.
The face. The I mean, it's the only place Sonic's known for most of his life, aside from South Island, where he grew up. Because for this movie, they don't call the original place Green Hill Zone, but it is still the original island it was on, South Island.
I like that pose that he does.
Yeah, he's super expressive. Like in this movie, I more see Jim Carrey, but in the second one, I absolutely see Eggman. Like, he's still good in this movie, but just because of his general appearance, I still just kind of see Carrey. But the second movie, when he's bald, has the full mustache, all that, I see Eggman.
There goes the radio.
Like, damn, man, the radio. We still have like 4 hours to go to San Francisco.
Yeah.
I would not be able to start a car ride without radio. I'm serious. I need something going.
Yeah.
We noticed the harpoon stuck in our dash. Forget just the radio. That's going in the engine with how far it is in, dude. I'm by the way, am I, Katrina? He's doing the spin dash. Whee! I always feel rough just even looking at his shoes, man.
I love that he still has no tolerance for spinning.
Oh, why? I hate
Why?
that.
That's the only downside of this movie for me is he flosses. He Fortnite dances.
How's he still upright? Or is he not in the vehicle?
No, it's entirely robot. He's still in the big truck from before.
Ah. Just decides to go through the door and stay out the window.
I think that tank just had a baby.
Yeah, all the comments just make the movie. It's a combination. It's a combination of just general wit and then just little kiddish comments. It makes it so good.
Oh no!
That guy remind you of Bill Murray at all? Well, like the dad. Does he remind you of Bill Murray?
Mom with the lipstick smear. That is so on point.
I think the funniest part of that is that the two are fighting, and you can just stop fighting, or take it away, and then they do the spin, and then the son just hands it up. Like, all right, we'll stop.
Turn the technology against them. Defeating bad guys 101.
Oh, now it's unicycle.
That's one. I think that's my favorite Eggman line. Do you ever wonder where your tax dollars are going?
Yeah,
The other brains. It got stunned by the door, so it worked out. Again, military-grade drone taking out with the flashlight.
must be a military-grade flashlight.
It is a military.
I mean, it'll be police duty, but that still shouldn't be enough to break a drone.
I like another one.
It keeps going.
It's tiny.
It's like the Matryoshka dolls of robots. And bring in the Geico sponsorship. Yeah, it's a tiny helicopter, and then it's a bomb. It just doesn't stop.
Never seen a convertible truck before.
I mean, hey, new market. I love the detail where it's like you think they might just add it back on in that second shot, but in the first shot after he throws the rag, you can still see it on his hand. I kind of like the little attention to this, where it's like he already lost the ring, so then he took this big hit and he's out of it. So like in the games when he loses the rings, and then he's out of it after the hit.
Oh yeah.
Because he hasn't taken a single attack up between losing the rings to the tower in San Francisco to now. He seems slowly getting angry.
And he's like,
Hold on.
I screwed up.
Ah, you missed it. He goes, pin yourself against the wall. Delivery is so good. They're everything to me. And just like the random Swahili. The hands off like, go try. Like, here, try some of this.
You see a glowing quill, and the first thing that pops into your mind is,
Just
let me
lick it.
taste it.
Let me lick it. And I don't remember if he did it in the house in the movie now, but I believe in the original trailer he licked it in the house, so I think they may have changed it. I'm calling your mother. The little girl's just like, hi.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's emails. Yes, it's plutonium.
Seems much thinner.
I'll catch for JoJo. He falls. Thank God. Oh, yes.
Tunes of Anarchy. And the spin.
If you notice in the music list, it has Crush 40, who did a lot of Sonic music for a bunch of games in Sonic Adventure, I believe. I actually, Sonic CD, they did the track for Sonic CD, and they've done stuff like the Adventure, they did a cover of the 06 song, they did a bunch of Sonic music. Crush 40. And the music. Yeah, it's funny. And the music in the scene was chosen by Jim Carrey. He did the dances to the song he picked. Yeah, that's the name of the robots. Is Bad Nicks. I believe this was all improv by Jim Carrey to the song he picked.
He is well known for his
very
improv.
much a Jim Carrey improv.
It chose to me since like the scene he's doing is a reference to Grinch when he did the same thing.
Yes.
And the T-Rex is a reference. He was initially going to be Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park instead of Jeff Goldblum. But it ended up being Jeff Goldblum. But that's supposed to be a reference to him almost being in Jurassic Park. Also, the color palette of Eggman. It's like normally his outfit is black and red with highlights of yellow, but this outfit is.
I like how you can just tell that when he dances, it's just pure nerd energy.
I
love the way you make them.
I brought you a latte with steamed Austrian goat milk. That's why I try and go quiet for some of these dialogue lines, because some of them come back in the next movie in just like dumb ways. Like some of the most offhanded things they say in this movie are brought back in Sonic 2. Like the steamed
eyelashes.
Yeah, like the steamed Austrian goat milk bit. Almost constantly. I don't know if they said directly before, but Maddie is a vet, so she works as with animals a lot. Yeah, I can't imagine even running in shoes like that, let alone at his speed. He's pretty much barefoot in those holes. She's tied up. I have to go to the bathroom. It's a different. I hate her. I think she's annoying, but she has some of the funniest lines in both movies.
Yes. Whoa. Is The Rock president?
Like, that's funny, but I just like his delivery of when he gets there. He goes, gotta go fast.
Almost like he's on speed.
I know you're real. No, I'm not. I think I love a lot of comedic moves. I feel like that No, I'm Not made me laugh the hardest. all she talks about in this first movie. I swear to God. There they are.
Aww.
They're the shoes.
But why are these ones more durable than the other ones were from the trash, I guess, so.
Yeah, and they've been worn for 10 years at super speed. These look almost brand new. But there they are. The red and white. It completes the look. She's just so done with this. Oh, I want to put the puppy. I think that's the actual dog looking something CGI, so they had to like put something in front of it to get that done.
Probably a spoon of peanut butter.
I hate the sister so much. She's even worse in the second one.
I missed what she said.
This is my house. I almost feel bad for her, but then I don't. Just because she's so insufferable. Imagine that's how it just ended. He went up, got the ring. He's like, all right, bye, and slept. I take it back. This is the funniest part of the movie. I know. I keep saying that. But I just love this movie. Yeah, that's how serious it is.
Uh-oh.
Awkward energy.
No, I'm laughing because of what's coming up.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear it fully.
Why would I like it in here? This is worse than the dog cage you had me in earlier. I'll be sure to bring a Bluetooth speaker. Either tomorrow or Friday, whenever next we do this, I'll bring a Bluetooth speaker. I don't know if we'll start Ruby next or if we'll do another movie.
Oh, not the underwear.
Yes, the underwear on the hair. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's when you think about the main quest of like the movie wasn't too hard in itself. It's the Robotnik chasing it after them that made it difficult. The proper male response. Imagine this was where the movie ended. Where would Tom go? He's still labeled as a treasonous terrorist.
Huh.
Yeah, they still haven't done anything about that. Even if he has completed this quest to get him where he needs to be,
Like I feel like
he's still going to be labeled as a threat.
yeah, I feel like they're saying this isn't the end of the movie yet or anything. I'm just saying, imagine if it was Sonic leaves to Mushroom Hill Zone and Tom still has to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only been 2 days.
I took him 2 days to get from Montana to San Francisco. They had the one night stay at the motel, or like right after they got out of the bar, and then they made it here. They started the morning being chased by that car.
Uh-oh.
I just love the quips. It works so well.
Did someone leave their Find My Phone on? Somebody would totally do that.
Yeah.
You know that would actually happen.
I feel like by bad luck it would be me.
No, it would probably be me because I forget and leave my location on all the time.
Oh yeah, like damn, left my location on. Also, there's the right coat, and the goggles. The grin immediately fades away.
Burn.
Like Sonic and Eggman's chemistry is great. Tom and Eggman's is pretty good too. It's the first time he calls him Eggman. Because this is technically the first time like actively meeting one another. And it goes off the rip saying, "Hello, Eggman." I was expecting something, so does it count? Another Quicksilver scene.
His face.
His tongue out, reaching for the button. Like, remember when he hits the bullets, it's supposed to be some kind of like power up to him. I forget which one it's supposed to be. I love it. He got hit again, and then he lost the rings again. It's just like little things that make this movie so good.
Oh, the ring collection sound.
Yep. That is again when he throws it.
Oh, all those rings clattering.
And it's harder to hear because like something that's just normal metal clatter, but in there is a small chime of actual raindrop. Give me a minute. Collects the rings and goes. I also thought the ship was like kind of like his pod from the games, but kind of not as well.
So essentially, how many cars is he blowing up now?
And like time slowed down, so there still could be people in some of those.
That was an illegal left, by the way.
Here's where we started. I love that it's such an unnecessary thing for the movie. They could just open with South Island, but decided to do that. But you're wondering how I got here. That jump mid pose is his Smash Bros pose. Just a kid.
Excuse me.
Oh, now we're in China.
That's so...
I know it's like the Great Wall, but it's also supposed to be a reference to a Sonic Unleashed stage, I believe. I was about to say Dragon Driftway, but that's Mario Kart. It's something else. But it's meant to like invoke a Sonic Unleashed map.
Oh,
there goes the Sphinx.
There goes a national monument.
I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but that slide of him in the sand. I talked about podcast before in the trailer. It was a slide of him in Green Hill Zone. But I talked about how he was never an adult in Green Hill Zone. Like you were in the podcast, we talked about about trailers. How could they be misleading? They made that illegal now. One of the shots in the trailers for this movie was like him doing that slide, but in Green Hill Zone. But it's a lie because he was never in Green Hill Zone as an adult. I feel like here he really starts to feel more like Eggman. The suit helps a little bit, but with like the open pod, him doing the laugh and the boasting, all that, I start really seeing Eggman.
Yeah.
Tom's gonna few in. I love takes up was like, "Who the hell do you think you are? I'm the Donut Lord, you son of a." Yeah, Wade. Crazy Carl. Just put away. It's very hokey, power of friendship thing. But I really like that line of he's more human than you'll ever understand. Like, that's a very powerful thing to say. It's like Sonic spent 10 years in one of the smallest towns in the country learning about people, and Robotnik just hates people. It's a very powerful, strong thing to say for a kids movie.
Yep.
That's my favorite shot in the movie. Is like Eggman's goggles come down, you see Sonic in the reflections. That's my favorite shot of the movie. Also, notice when he is in his power mode like this, his eyes turn from green to blue. As he starts speeding up here, you know, like the sound you hit up one in like classic Sonic games where it does like that like very digital like sound effect when you hit the pod.
Yeah.
As he speeds up, it makes that sound effect because of how fast he's going. All the special effects in this movie are just so good and so well done.
His face.
I don't think there's any misses with the CGI in this movie. It's just all so good. And most of the pod was not in the flying scenes, but like here in Green Hills, most of the pod was practical.
Yeah.
Only the turbines were a CGI, and then the final shot where he's going through the ring is CGI. But the main pod itself was a practical set piece that Jim Carrey sat in.
Hmm.
I was playing Sonic Forces at that time, and I really wanted him to do a fist bump instead, because the main track of that game is Fist Bump by Hoobastank.
She never got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, we missed a funny line. She goes, "Jojo, put on my Fitbit. I need to get in some steps." That's my favorite line from her from both movies. Nothing tops that for me. So Tom's staying in Green Hills.
So it's a good thing she did get that second cake.
I like how all the main characters have some kind of arc in this movie. Tom's is like, I want to save a life. I want to be like a real cop, and Sonic says, I want a friend, and they both end up getting what they wanted from the entire adventure of the movie. Dun, dun, dun.
I just like the fact that one of the characters is an old man with a chainsaw.
I think he's noticing. Are you listening? It's playing Green Hill Zone on the piano.
It's kind of soft.
I may rewind after the movie is over. So that's how he gets out of it.
Pardon?
Yeah, and they don't want anyone to mention Robotnik. So they're like, if you keep your mouth shut, you'll be fine.
$50 to Olive Garden.
If you read the card, it said from Uncle Sam. I love how not so subtle he is. Like, yeah, you still see that blue alien guy running around. Just peeking in. Yeah, I'll rewind, but in the background is playing Green Hill Zone on piano, Katrina.
Aww.
They moved everything from his cave into the attic. He's got a mellow yellow sitting on the side stand.
Yeah.
He's got a race car bed.
Gotta sleep fast.
I believe the race car bed is a reference to Archie comics as well. The hat he's wearing is the
Oh God, not again.
Not that again. That is just so cringe.
I believe the hat he was wearing is a reference to another Sega game. It kind of also looks like the one that Knuckles wears in the old cartoon, but it's not quite that.
Yeah.
With the star on it. The dog comes upstairs. You know, this is like clearly a CG like landscape shot, but it still looks beautiful. And there's we still have something to watch after the first set of credits, but
Oh, blooper reel.
oh no, I forgot we have this too. We have this, then mid credits, and then another scene. There he is.
The mustache has gone crazy.
There's the Eggman mustache. Agent Stone. Punches a mushroom. There he is. There's the full mustache, goggles. There's Eggman.
And his robot walk.
I feel like this is the true conversion from Robotnik to Eggman. Yeah, he got sent to Mushroom Hill Zone. There's, we have a little bit of credits to go through, but as two people who had never seen Sonic before, what do you guys think?
It was quite good.
Good.
I feel like this was the start towards video game adaptations becoming better. Halo and Resident Evil have kind of dropped the ball on their respective ends, but I feel like stuff like Mortal Kombat is really good. Uncharted was pretty good for what it was. That's also coming from someone who hasn't played the games, but I enjoyed the credit sequence too. It's very much like 2D animated style.
Kind of styled like the first Sonic game.
Yeah, and right now it's the reference to the Chaos Emerald special stages from Sonic 2.
Yep. And they had to go with the donuts.
I think this is done really well. It's an adaptation that doesn't necessarily the Chaos ones from Sonic 3 as well. It's something that doesn't need to be like super accurate to the games, but still works.
Mm-hmm.
But I very much enjoyed this movie, and I was kind of sad I didn't get to see it in theaters by the time the world was kind of messed up anyway. I want to go see Sonic 2 in theaters though, day one. And the credits like really make you think, the movie could have worked as like a game as well.
Yeah.
And the story kind of works like one too, where it's like you have like the clear end goal of the main quest.
The Eggman symbol.
Yeah, the Eggman symbol was great. You get some good sightings of that in Sonic 2, but I feel like this was made a bit for building up the characters.
Where's the second ending credit scene?
And this is the last thing we see.
Oh, Tails.
Tails. And he has his flying two tails, yeah. All right, and now that is Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm going to pause this so we can talk some. Yep, Tails, voiced by his video game actress, Colleen O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
That is Tails' voice from the games.
Yeah, I thought it sounded eerily accurate.
I believe that's the Tails voice actress from Colors onwards, Colleen O'Shaughnessy. So the current voice for Tails is kind of pulling double duty right now.
Yeah.
In the same year, gave us her performance in Sonic 2 and then in Sonic Frontiers. She was busy. She was busy last year. She was busy last year.
That is very impressive.
And I feel like it would be hard to find a good voice for Tails. That's why they don't change super often. Plus, you need a female to voice him anyway because of how young he is. That's why women voice younger characters all the time and everything.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it kind of goes overboard when they continue to do that when the character grows older.
Kind of like
sometimes they don't do that. But I like how they just straight up took Colleen from the games. Like, you want to voice Tails in the movie? And it's like, she's like, hell yeah.
I'm not sure there'd be many people who be against voicing their characters in a movie.
So for those final two scenes, I feel like those final two scenes are the hypest in the movie because you get Robotnik finally transitioning to the mad scientist Eggman, full bushy mustache, shaved head and all, and then you get Tails just showing up like, I need to go find Sonic. One thing annoying me though is that I will say this, in Sonic 2 we see the scene again. It was made for this movie as a teaser and then just shows up. Sonic 2 takes place probably right a year after this one. So technically that scene takes place a year after the rest of the movie because it just repeats in Sonic 2. So we'll see the scene again. But it's still like a good teaser hey, this is what's coming. Tails is on his way. Eggman's going to be coming back.
Although well, no, I guess I'll just wait till we actually start watching.
Yeah, it's not going to be our next movie. I think our next movie is going to be the original Super Mario. And then if we can figure it out, into the Spider-Verse. But then Sonic 2 will be here. I want to try and do it on the day Alex is here too, so she can have some input as well. But let's get some more detailed review in here. You guys hadn't seen the movie before, which I was surprised you hadn't seen it, Katrina.
It's mostly because whenever I go to the movies, it's not just me. It's with my mom, who is not as much of a video game enthusiast as I am.
I didn't see this one in theaters. I wasn't like a big Sonic fan. I wasn't as into Sonic as I am now. So I watched it when it came out in Redbox, and this is a fun movie. So it got my interest a little bit out there. But I've mentioned on the podcast before how Sonic Generations is really what kickstarted my love for Sonic.
Yeah, I was able to experience Sonic on the Sega Genesis. So
I played most of the classics. I played 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, all that. I played Mania, which is an amazing game.
You ever get to play Sonic 3D Blast?
I'm not. I know it's getting added to Sonic Origins. They're adding a bunch of games to Sonic Origins, which I really want to play because I haven't played CD yet. Either.
Yeah, I haven't touched the Sonic series games since Game Boy Color.
That's a long time ago.
Oh yeah, Sonic Advance.
I played a lot of games. I think I played all of the classics, which I consider to be, I guess not CD, but I played 1, 2, and 3 in Knuckles. I've played a little bit of 06. I'm still trying to go through it right now. I've played Generations. I've played Forces. I've played Unleashed, and I've played I don't know what we count the racing games as. So I played the second Sega and All Stars, and I played Team Sonic Racing. But then I played
Sonic Air Ride, I believe, was one of them.
I don't know that one. I know Sonic Riders. I have Sonic Free Riders. I haven't played that yet either, though. But and then I completed Frontiers 100% in 2 days. I pre-ordered it. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, I believe, as well. But I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered Sonic Colors Ultimate and Proto Sonic Frontiers on the respective days. I still have yet to take Sonic Colors Ultimate out of its plastic. I beat Frontiers in 2 days. You can tell where my priorities were with those 2 games. Like, I can finally play Sonic Colors. Sonic Frontiers gets announced. I'm playing Sonic Frontiers. 2 days, actually 3, but I would have had done 2, but achievement glitched. I had to go back and do a couple side quests for Knuckles.
It's always the side quests that get you.
Yeah,
Love Sonic Frontiers. It is so good. But we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog movie now. So let's hear like some of your feedback about some of this movie so I don't keep rambling.
Yeah, I feel like even though they did really well in meshing the video game CGI stuff with actual real life. They like the realistic stuff. They did a real good mashup between that. Like the animation for the video game characters and all the video game mechanics.
Yeah, like Sonic is like very clearly CG cartoonish, but I feel like that works for the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't clash with the realism.
It doesn't. And I feel like that's what like stuff like the Badniks, like it's not cartoonish robots powered by little birds, but I kind of prefer it just being normal robots because then if you try to adapt it to a movie, it'd be very tough and like constantly telling like destroy the robot but save the flicky. It's like that's gonna like slow down some action scenes in movies. So I feel like it's better they just made the Badniks straight robots.
Well, I would have probably enjoyed it a bit more if some of the robots were actually more based on the actual robots you'd see, even if they didn't have.
I will say in Sonic 2 we do get more like game designed Badniks, but for this one it was just like the egg drones, which
Which I feel makes sense considering this is right now Robotnik hasn't been outside of Earth.
Yeah,
so
he just has standard military drones.
He just has standard military Earth robotics.
Yeah, and in the games Sonic calls Eggman because he's big and round. He's a robust guy, and the movie is not directly implied. But in the movie, he calls him Eggman because the Badniks look like eggs. They're just these round little drones.
Oh yeah. I realized that the moment that he called him Eggman, I was like, it's because his things look like egg.
Did Robotnik ever make or have a comeback to why Sonic had started calling him Eggman, or?
He just started calling him. The first time they probably meet was on the tower right after he gets his rings and he's trying to leave, and he just calls him Eggman because of like the look of it. It just in the moment, it's not just like Eggman.
And it's just a mockery, I believe. So,
yeah, just a mockery.
So that's what he takes it as. He doesn't take it as anything serious.
So Robotnik just replies with a threat, and then the action scene goes on, and then he calls him Eggman again right before he sends him to Mushroom Hill Zone. He goes, guess what, Eggman? I'm not leaving Earth. You are. And that's when, and he didn't. I don't think he spoke from like the end of that fight until the credit scene with him. Because that's when Tom throws the ring and then Sonic sends the pod through to Mushroom Hill Zone.
So we don't really get his reaction to being called Eggman.
I mean, they had that conversation at the top of the tower, but he didn't really have a reaction to it. He just replied with a threat, and I'm going to take you in, and then proceed to the action scene.
Yeah, I guess he just perceived it as like a childish taunt.
Yeah. Because that's one thing I like about Sonic in the movie too, is like he's very clearly childish because he hasn't had that chance to really change. It was like he left. I know in the games Sonic's age is like 15 or 17 now maybe, but I believe in the movie he's supposed to be 15 and he left Long Claw when he was 5. So he's been in Green Hills for 10 years without interacting with anybody. He's just kind of been stalking Tom and Maddie. Sit in the window when they watch movies. Like they showed us like them watching Speed, and like him sitting in the window. Doing pop quiz hotshot. Like that entire thing. He didn't have friends or social interaction for a decade because he had to stay hidden. Otherwise, he believed people would come for his powers. And of course, as soon as he like revealed himself to the world with that EMP blast, they sent an Eggman to steal his powers. And he still has that quill. He still has that one quill from
Yeah, but I could have sworn Sonic had drained the energy from that quill, so it makes me wonder how.
He did, but I imagine the explanation is, because his body produces electricity, I imagine the lone quill could still reproduce it as well. At the time,
I think it's because his quills are like sort of a channel for his power. So whenever he activates his power, even if the quill is detached from him, it can still channel his power.
Yeah, that's when and then I think another explanation he uses him when he hits the pod through Mushroom Hill Zone, you see this blue wave go over the pod. That alone by itself may very well recharge the quill inside as well.
Yeah.
But then I guess that brings about the first question I've come thinking of is, how did Sonic lose that first quill? Because the only time we ever see him, when he pulls a quill out, is literally when he's racing down the tower.
I'm honestly blanking on it right now. It was Tom who had the quill first.
Yeah, it was Tom who had the quill first. He got it off of the side of the road.
Oh, yeah. When Sonic saved the turtle, he left the quill. It was right before it was when he did the speed gun thing and then ran off. And then I think Tom grabbed the quill, went back into his car, and started driving off. And then when the other car is coming down to run over the turtle, Sonic comes back to save the turtle. I think that's when he leaves the quill behind, right?
Well, no.
No, it was before
he
grabbed the quill before he saved the turtle. It was when he was running in front of the car to get the speedometer
That's what I said.
on the second time.
That's what I said. He left the quill behind when he was doing the speedometer stunt, and then he bolted. Tom came out of the car, saw the quill in the car, took it and left, and then Sonic came back to the same spot to save the turtle afterwards.
Yeah, so... and I'm not sure if that's the same quill or if...
It is because when Tom has a quill, then the power outage happens, and the quill's the only thing lighting up. And then when Robotnik comes in the house later, he sees the quill kind of jammed in like a hiding place, and he takes the quill. Because he sees it glowing. I think it was like stuck in the oven or something, and he sees like poking out, so that's when he takes it, and he is like, see, I'm always right. You want to try that again? Like that whole bit is when Robotnik gets the quill. Because Tom didn't pick it up before he ran to the truck with Sonic.
Also, I'm not sure if when Sonic was saying that when Sonic was draining the power from that quill, if he completely drained it or not, or if he was just connecting his power to the quill to overload.
It's not explicitly explained, so I don't have like a clear answer to like that kind of question.
Because I think it was more him taking control, because he did make his pod run on that power. He was taking control.
Well,
of
his
the
pod
power.
didn't specifically run on that power. The power of the quill is what let him keep up with Sonic.
Yeah, so him taking back control of his quill is what disrupted it. It more disrupted.
It's what let him overpower Eggman and send him to Mushroom Hill Zone.
Yeah, it disrupted the functionality of the pod.
It's not clearly explained, and it's kid movie stuff. So as adults, we're not really expected to like analyze every little bit of it. My personal opinion is like when you hit it and you see that blue dispersive energy, that's when it might have been recharged. But you can take it either way. So there's not a clear answer, so I can't say if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, the reason that I'm thinking that it's overloaded is because if it was drained, then it doesn't necessarily make sense that it exploded the container that it was in. Because if you explode, it's usually because there's an overabundance of something, so the container can no longer hold it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So let's talk about a few more things for throw this up. What's your guys' like favorite scene of the movie?
Probably the bar fight.
The bar fight. That's a pretty good one.
I'd have to say my favorite scene, probably the one with the phone call.
Oh, the phone call with Wade?
Yeah.
So these like guys in black suits here.
Don't tell anyone that I called you.
See, the thing about that is...
Yeah.
And I love how that in the scene, Robotnik walks out and Wade's going like, so you're not going to like, Men in Black me and wipe my memory? I will tell people about this. Wade is great, and he has some even better scenes in the second one. Wade is great. I
just love the fact that he hung up on him.
Like, nope. Just
Hello?
And then Eggman's reaction to it was like, hello?
Hello? I think he hung up. But Wade is great. I think my favorite Wade scene is when the power goes out and he's staring at the phone. He goes...
Yeah.
And then he uses a cell phone, and he uses a cell phone to call Tom, and then Tom like runs with like, stay calm, relax, call Harry Gill, and I don't remember the first name he goes like, so call before Gill. I don't remember that, not the first name. But then Hung's like, okay, I gotta go. And then Wade's goes, okay, what was the first thing he said? Right. Relax. And it sits back as the phones are still ringing. Wade, that's my favorite Wade scene from the movie. If I had to pick my favorite like one scene, I kind of have a tie between two. My first one is I guess 3, just how powerful they are. Like I know it's unfair to say, but it's just my top 3 things. I'd probably just say the fight with Eggman in Green Hills, because you see like just how powerful he's finally letting all his power loose intentionally for the first time, and he says, you know what, I'm not running anymore. I need to protect my friends, and he I just love the line. It was like, you know, I'm not the one leaving Earth, you are, and I love the teamwork in that scene too, because like Sonic is never fighting Eggman on his own. Which is both, I feel like it's both a good thing and a bad thing, but he never does. Whenever every scene where he's going against Eggman, it's him and Tom. Tom's the one that gets him out of the house at the start. They're both fighting the car drone on the highway, and Tom's the one who opened the ring to Mushroom Hill to send Eggman away. Like, it's a perfect, every fight scene is teamwork. Even the bar scene, like you're talking about, it's like, yeah, Tom didn't do as much in that scene.
I feel like that is meant as sort of like a statement that when you work together, you're stronger, and the fact that the reason why he keeps failing is because he keeps on trying to do everything alone.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a good analogy for like the lesson of the movie. It's like he spent his whole life alone, but then every fight scene he's not fighting alone. It's just that slow build up to like him staying in Green Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only time he was alone against Eggman was when he was running.
And for my other 2 scenes, the second one is in San Francisco at the sister's house.
Oh.
Particularly when JoJo comes in with the shoes. Just because, like, you see him in these beat-up, taped-up, mismatched shoes. Because they are mismatched. One's supposed to be white, one's gray. But they're both taped up and torn up. But it comes with the shoes, and that's when he feels, like, reinvigorated, all that. It's just a small thing for me that I really like. But I think the one that I like the most is...
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast! That was great, too. But if I had to pick one, it would be the baseball field scene. Because that is, to me, that's the most, aside from that final battle, is the most powerful emotional scene in the movie, because he does this whole built-up bit about him playing baseball with himself. He makes the home run. Like, you know, the kids play baseball, go home run, and when they make it, they want to look at their parents for the appreciation, their friends for appreciation. I feel like at least having the parent part, like Tom's meant to be like friend, but my dad as well. But he stops and goes, you see, I did it. And then it's the empty baseball field. No one's there to cheer him on or anything like that. There's no one to say, I'm proud of you. And that whole thing is like, he spent the past 10 years alone. That's him realizing, I may spend the rest of my life alone. And that's what led to that powerful surge of energy that sent an EMP. He's running the entire baseball field over and over. He's creating trenches with his feet in the dirt, because he's just feeling this raw emotion of loneliness and sadness that kicks off everything else in the movie.
You know what I also found interesting, now that you mentioned that baseball scene? The fact that he has all these different personalities of Sonic that he...
It's him being a kid. That's what they like. It's like they don't try and treat him adult. This Sonic doesn't
But I feel like that is also a good... a good representation of what can actually happen if you are alone and isolated for such a long period of time. Your mental state does slowly deteriorate to the point where you start hallucinating.
Yeah, if you want to look from like a mental perspective, like that's him trying to be different people because he is alone, which isn't like, I guess, yeah, another layer I could add to that scene to make it still my favorite scene in the movie. But that's him realizing, you know, I might forever be alone, and that's what kicks off the rest of the movie. It's just like he doesn't want to be alone. He doesn't want to keep running away.
I feel like that scene in particular gives us a view into his sort of mental state.
But like he's really not okay. Like he watched his mother figure die at 5. Well, I guess not watch, but she's dead. No, she was killed by the echidnas. Which was kind of...
And he probably blames himself because he ran away, and when he tried to run back to her, he wasn't able to make it.
I don't necessarily think he blames... I think he knew like there wasn't much he could actually do. Like Longclaw it's what Longclaw's always warned him since he was young. Like, people are coming to you for your power. That's when she gives him like the map and all that. You know, if you ever need to run again, go to this planet. It's Mushroom Hill Zone. And he says the whole movie, she told me to go to this planet full of mushrooms. Like, he doesn't want to go there because then he realizes that he's not going to have... It's kind of like double layered. It's like he'll keep running, But then if he has to run to another plane, he realizes I'm gonna be running my entire life, which is another layer to like his entire character arc in the story.
Yeah.
And by the end, when he has he has like those parental figures in Tom and Maddie, and like he has a family to start building up. By the end of the movie, he's a little kid with he's a teenage kid with the race car bed and the comic books and all that. It's like he's finally found what it's like to actually be a genuine kid.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also because it's only earlier on in the movie that he was talking to himself as if he was a different people. The further you got in the movie, the less he did that.
Because he had more people to bounce. I guess I really didn't notice that. That's actually a fair point. It's like, and especially in the early parts of the movie, he's constantly talking to himself because that's all he has to talk to.
Almost like he has multiple personality disorder.
Except Crazy Carl. I know you're real. No, I'm not. Which that's great. I said a lot of times for this commentary. That's the funniest scene in the movie. That's just the comedy keeps getting better throughout the movie. But I totally forgot about the child in the bag joke. That was in the trailer, and I still forgot about it till I saw the tower again.
I don't think I actually saw that commercial.
I think it was the final trailer for the movie came out.
Yeah,
is it the last scene of the trailer was like, "Do you have a child in that bag?" No, I mean yes, it's a child, but it's not mine. that is gold. They did not. That is something they did not need in the movie. They could just cut to the top of the tower, but that is so funny.
Well, it makes me wonder how many scenes were ad-libbed due to either false or mistaken lines, or just they had to add it.
Yeah, that's the best thing. It's like I think one of my favorite scenes I ever heard was ad-lib, and this is the only time we'll probably detour from Sonic. In Avengers: Infinity War, there's a scene. It's when the Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis find Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man on the ship.
You mentioned.
And Star-Lord's like, where's Gamora? And then Iron Man goes, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? And then Drax on the floor with Iron Man's blasted to his face goes, I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? And that was ad-libbed by Dave Bautista on set. In fact, Tom Holland wasn't allowed to be in that shot for a panning shot because he had to turn over and start like laughing into his arm. But the comedy is well done, and Jim Carrey really helps the kind of like all over the place comedy a bit. Like the scene with him doing the construction he's constructing the pod he flies at the end of the movie with a quill. So working with it as a power source. But entire scene where the montage with like the hologram behind him and all that. Jim Carrey picked the song for that. He improv the dance scene for that, and he did it so well. That's like the most fun we see Eggman in the movie.
Yes, that is the most Jim Carrey scene in the movie, I think, is that dance scene.
Yeah,
that's pure Jim Carrey.
I just love how Jim Carrey is able to improvise almost any scene. Like you both seen The Grinch, right?
Yeah.
When he does the tablecloth trick.
Yes.
The tablecloth trick was actually not a part of the movie.
It wasn't. He just did it.
Yeah, he just did it by accident, and then when he rushed back to knock everything off, that was the ad-lib part.
Yeah.
Because
it was supposed to be that he was supposed to be unsuccessful in doing that, but he practiced it so much that
he just did it, and then he did it and wiped it off.
And nothing fell over, so he had to knock everything over himself.
And everyone calls like Jim Carrey was a Jim Carrey type, like stuff like Riddler and Batman Forever. Riddler's kind of zany, but he's not Jim Carrey level zany. It's just Jim Carrey being himself in that movie. And I feel like everyone's getting like Jim Carrey fatigue, but then they announced Jim Carrey is going to be Robotnik, Eggman, and everyone's like, that's perfect. Because Eggman is zany comedy all around, and Jim Carrey embodies that so much to the point where I forget.
Yes, and the puns.
Which is why in most of this movie, I see him in with the normal hair, like the not too over the top mustache, and just the black trench coat. I'm like, I see more Jim Carrey than I do this in Robotnik. And towards the end, I start seeing it more, and then you see him in Mushroom Hills, and I'm like, that's Eggman. Like I said, the costume helps, but applying the personality, the actor, and the costume all together, that is Eggman. That is Ivo Robotnik.
You know what I don't get, though, is why he shaved.
He's going insane. He was mad before, but being left, it's implied he's there for quite a while before we see that scene as well. He's been there for at least a week or two before we see that scene of him in Mushroom Hills.
And he's just going to embody the full egg.
He's gone insane. Like he was already like antisocial and crazy before, but then he got beaten by the alien creature he was wanting to kidnap and test on. You know, don't want to be insensitive, but we should get some ice, keep the body fresh, like that kind of stuff. It's like he was already mad before, but just being defeated and trapped on an alien planet left him insane. So he grew out the mustache, shaved his head, tore up his pilot suit to look more like the jacket, calls a rock that kind of looks like a face Agent Stone. Like the Agent Stone, the other dude's been with the entire movie. And which that made me crack up. It was like Agent Stone, and then it's a rock. And let's do some rock reconnaissance. Ha ha, rock reconnaissance. And it's the last thing you hear him say as it does the white pan of Mushroom Hills.
Reconnaissance.
No, rock reconnaissance. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know, but the pen sounds so much like the actual.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Like everyone knew Robotnik was Jim Carrey's last role, and he blew it out of the park with this one in both movies. I hope he comes back for Sonic 3, which is kind of up in the air right now. So anything else before we take the note off this? Anything else to say about the movie?
No.
I'm looking forward to the second one.
We'll get to that in a week or two. Like I said, I think this week we're either going to do Mario or we're going to start our Ruby commentaries. I think we'll start doing like early Ruby. We'll do like 5 episodes a one, because like 5 minutes. We'll even do an entirety of Volume 1 in one commentary because it's like so short and all that. For later ones, we'll have to do like only like 2 or 3 because they're like full on anime episodes for later ones. But yeah, we'll have some of this planned out, and this is fun for a first drive run of a commentary. I know I kind of carried the talking about it. I feel like just because you guys hadn't seen the movie and you're trying to focus more on it. And I end up talking about some of the dialogue lines I'd repeat. You know, like, this is my house. I kind of felt bad for the sister, but she was so insufferable the rest of the movie that I didn't care. And then,
you know what? I'm still wondering, what did she do because of her needing to use the restroom? Did she just hold it? Has she been holding it the entire time?
She probably had to hold. I love how even after they're gone, JoJo didn't free her either. She just kept running around, and then the last scene we see where she's just given up and just like, JoJo, put on my Fitbit. I need to get some steps in. Like she's accepted. Like this made her life just stuck to the chair now. And like, you know what? I've never seen such actual just regret on someone's face besides that scene. Like that was amazing. Yeah, a lot of laughs, good action movie, and the start of what would be a lot of great video game adaptations. Also some not so great ones. Halo, dear Lord. We'll probably do that one on the commentaries as well eventually, but dear Lord.
What do you think about maybe the Castlevania series?
I've been meaning to watch that, so yeah, we may do this for commentaries, and I'll be the one going in blind.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
We should probably have somebody on who's seen it though to kind of lead us in, like to make some of those commentary parts. It's like we're trying to do things where at least someone on the table will have experience. So it's like when for another teaser down the path, we're gonna do Star Wars, and I'm wanting. Alex isn't a big Star Wars fan, but I'm hoping to get her on to like kind of have us go through that, or like at least get somebody on who doesn't watch a lot of Star Wars before then, so we can have some like fresh faces on that. Because I feel like it's most enjoyable when you have someone who is going in as a blank slate, and like at least one person is a blank slate and one person who is very like familiar with like what we'd be watching. So for stuff like comic book stuff, Star Wars, like that would be me more in particular. If we do something like
I feel like I would be like in between because I've seen the movies, but I haven't seen the TV shows.
I feel like we'll do movies first. Like I don't know like how quickly we can get through other things. I think we'll stick with movies and then maybe go from there. The only reason I suggest Ruby is because it starts off like very short episodes and only then starts picking up.
Yeah, I think the entire first season you can watch in 2 hours.
Which isn't too far from like we're only like 2 hours and 5 minutes now, and past like 10 to 15 have been about the discussion. Like this isn't a super long movie, and where we can't do something like Lord of the Rings easily. Like we'll have to split each movie into like 3 parts.
The last time I've done anything with Ruby was maybe I saw the first few minutes of. I saw the first episode back in like 2017, 2018.
So only first episode?
Yeah.
I think we finally have our blank slate for Ruby then. You're getting on that one, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to find some more. Maybe Alex will hop on Ruby. I hope she would.
Have you ever seen any of the Ruby Chibi?
Yes, I have. I know they just started it up again, but they're only doing like 1 bit per episode now. It's like the beauty of old Ruby Chibi was 3 or 4 bits in each episode, and they're only doing 1.
Well, I guess they're trying to bring it up with the current episodes of the actual series, and the actual series is a bit more serious than it was in the first seasons.
Now I know we're trying to talk about Sonic with this up, but maybe when it comes out, we can do the Ruby Justice League movie. That'd be a nice one to do for all of us to go in blind, because it's kind of half-assed based on the comic book, which I like the comic book, the Ruby Justice League comic. It's kind of like treated as like a DC Elseworld story more than like a Ruby alternate universe, because like what it is, it's the Ruby universe, but like DC characters have existed in it. It's like this is more of like you and I talking, since she hasn't seen as much of the future stuff for Ruby, but it's like Clark Kent is Tai Yang's farmhand, of Ruby and Yang's dad's farmhand. And he shows up there, like his semblance is like, it's kind of like his normal power, where it's like he's stronger in sunlight.
I did not know that they did a Ruby DC crossover series.
There's two now. I haven't read the newer one. The original is just Ruby Justice League, and it's just DC characters, like as if they were in a Ruby universe. So it's like Superman is like a semblance is like, he gets power from the sun. He still has his strength, some flight, laser vision. Batman is a bat faunus, but he's also still a rich dude, and no one knows he's supposed to be a faunus. And what's the other one? Cyborg was an Atlas experiment. He was
kind of like Penny's brother.
Kind of. So you know how like my dust doesn't work outside of Remnant's orbit.
I was not aware of that.
It's something they talk about kind of offhandedly. Dust does not work when it's outside Remnant's orbit. So when they tried to send people in ships powered by dust outside Remnant, Victor Stone was one of the pilots, and he got messed up when it failed and crashed. And so they kept him hidden. And he ended up being Cyborg and stuff. It's really cool stories, and there's some ironic stuff too. Like Flash is a turtle faunus. It's ironic, but stuff like that is real cool. I don't know what they're gonna do with the movie. From what I can tell, the movie is the DC characters we see are the DC characters, but then when they got transported to them, they're turned into teenagers. So some of it's kind of hokey BS. But
so is that going to be a CGI movie, or is it a live action?
It's animated like Ruby in a movie, and so right now it's part 1, so we're getting at least 2. But animating that movie is what made Ruby Volume 9 take so long to come out.
If we're talking about those kind of movies, I think we should also do Anita, because I saw that movie in theaters, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned
quality.
Discord when I was asking for movie ideas. What's Anita?
Anita, it's a futuristic setting. It's based off of a manga, and
are you talking about Alita?
Alita
Battle Angel. Yeah,
Alita.
I knew it was based off of a anime manga kind of thing. I also know it's one of those ones that's pretty much a 1-to-1 representation too. But that's for another day. We're starting to rack up the time. We're in the storage space, so this has been our first movie commentary on Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it went pretty well. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more variety. Hopefully next time we'll do the original Mario movie. That'll be some pretty good stuff, huh?
Oh yeah.
Trust the fungus.
Oh yeah.
Trust the fungus, boys. This has been Gage. Joining me today has been Katrina, and first timer in the studio, Lucas. Be on the lookout for more movie commentaries.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Trust the fungus.